Seriously, Pro? Seriously? A Mario video when it's Star Wars Celebration Day? The day when they confirmed that Rey is going to be in another sequel trilogy? And you predicted it all along, and you're not going to jump up and down? You're going to do a Mario video instead? What are you thinking, man? There's so much to cover. Well, folks, I've already covered it. If you've been watching this channel, you already knew that Rey was coming back. You're not going to be surprised when Baby Yoda Grogu shows up in that trilogy. You're not going to be surprised when they wrap up the Mandoverse in movie form with Dave Filoni so that they can bring Baby Yoda in to protect Rey and stop the market from dumping all over her. None of that's a shock to you. You're not surprised that The Acolyte is a real series with huge funding and budgets, and that it's a multi-season, long-format Star Wars. And you're not going to be surprised either when all of this utterly fails for Lucasfilm. You're not surprised by Stargirls. That said, we'll talk about it. We're absolutely going to talk about it. Saturday morning, and I'm assembling a team. But for now, we need to take joy in something, because as bad as Star Wars is, and as much as the mainstream and the critics want to lift it up, I'm having so much fun watching the thing that they hate and despise destroy them. That is a cute little plumber from Brooklyn. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. It's what we do each and every day here on the Pro channel. And as we continue to do it, we're gaining more and more receipts showing that that is exactly what we do. If you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share and subscribe, and you can stick it to those algorithms when you click it. We're talking about the notification bell. We covet your comments, so drop one down below. If you feel so inclined, consider becoming a member. We are starting today from Polygon, from Zasha Millman, and we're going to navigate through just how much the media despises, hates, loathes, and wishes for the destruction of that cute little video game character that I thought everybody loved, Mario, Super Mario. Well, they don't like him very much. They have their reasons for not liking him very much. We'll talk about that once we get through these articles, but I want to demonstrate just how badly they feel venomous towards this intellectual property. And then I want to, well, shower ourselves in joy that they have absolutely zero impact on the market whatsoever. It must be a rotten, dirty day for them to know that despite all they have attempted, it isn't stopping families from going to see Mario. Families know that these people don't know anything. All right, here we go. Chris Pratt's Mario movie voice deserves a line-by-line analysis. The Super Mario Brothers movie showcases a few baffling vocal choices. Would a Mario by any other accent sound as wahoo? We're about to find out now that the Super Mario Brothers movie is out and Chris Pratt's performance as the jumping red-headed plumber is being put to the test. His voice acting has been the source of much concern and consternation since the first trailer dropped. The initial audio reveal showed off vocal choices that were vaguely Italian at best, and as the world waited for the movie, fans didn't know what to think. Did we really want Chris Pratt doing a 90-minute House of Gucci bit? Should Mario even talk? Throughout it all, Chris Pratt made the rounds, and yada, yada, yada. You get the idea. We got to get enough context in here so these ads can all be put through it. But then finally, we get down here into some spoiler territory, and eventually, where this all goes is they let us know that they don't like it. They don't like Chris Pratt as Mario. They don't like the voice. They don't like the voices. They don't like the movie. So take a look at this. Perhaps the real victory is ours. There's very little talk in the final scenes, and we can finally put this whole accent thing behind us. Unless that final credit scene has something to say about the future of Chris Pratt's Mario adventures. In that case, I agree with the Luma. When will mercy come? So Polygon not a fan, and Polygon also not following this channel clearly because our good friend, the writer here, what was the name? Zasha Millman doesn't know about the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Zasha Millman writes for Polygon and only knows what is given to this person in the post-credit scene. That's right. They're supposed to be covering entertainment. They don't even know about the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Love it. All right, let's continue right along with the hate for Mario. This from Kotaku, a bastion of common sense, I think not, by Carolyn Pettit. The Super Mario Brothers movie feels like it was designed in a lab. Nintendo's new movie starring Chris Pratt trots out tons of familiar references, and that's about it. For me and so millions of players around the world, the Nintendo brand means something. In our hearts, it holds a place akin to here it is, folks. I love it. In our hearts, it holds a place akin to the one Disney holds for others. And importantly, it's earned that place not just by being a massive corporation whose name is emblazoned across so many of the games we grew up with, but because those games so often possess a rare and defining quality, something uniquely Nintendo. It's hard to articulate just what that quality is, but it has to do with the incentiveness and charm, joy and wonder, beating within the heart of its excellence, meticulously designed games. I'd hope that the Super Mario Brothers movie, on which Mario's creator, Shigeru Miyamoto, has co-producing credit, would capture some of that magic. Guess what? This person thinks it does not. Now, the funny thing to me is that the reference to Disney right off the bat, and I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons that the critics absolutely despise the Mario movie is because the Nintendo Cinematic Universe is a huge threat to Disney. And Disney did what the critics wanted. Everybody listening, this is why they hate it. One of them, it's the big one though. The critics wanted Disney to produce stuff like Lightyear, Turning Red, and Strange World. Sorry, I had to think about it. I'd almost forgotten that movie because nobody went and saw it. But Disney did what the critics wanted, and families are gone. Disney Plus ratings have cratered. Now, Nintendo is giving fans what they want, just like the Minions did, just like Shrek 5 will. And because Disney listened to these insano critics, well, Disney has abdicated the throne as the king, queen, and everything in between of family feature films. Now, Illumination is the king of animated family films. And they may not give that throne up. Illumination may be in charge, in top of all of these box office results for a decade. What can Disney produce that will defeat Zelda or Metroid or Kirby or Mario 2, et cetera, for the next 10 years? And there is a roadmap. We'll be talking about that probably next week as I work to corroborate what I have received. We'll see. Now we go to Vulture. This one by Allison Wilmore. We're still pretty bad at making video game movies, huh? Well, no, Allison, you've never made a movie. You probably will never make a movie. And if you did make a movie, given your taste, it probably would not do well. Back in 2005, when shrugs were on trend and The Rock was still willing to play a villain, Universal released an adaptation of the first-person shooter Doom that had been in the works for a decade. It promptly bombed at the box office, mostly because it was, like so many other movies based on video games, terrible. The game franchise is famously heavy on carnage and light on narrative, but the movie had a cumbersome plot involving an ancient Martian civilization and genetic experimentation, also known as the story for the game. And yet, during its climax, Doom did something magnificent. It shifted to the point of view of its hero, played by an unembarrassable Carl Urban, as his character glided through a labyrinth of industrial hallways, blasting infected attackers with a weapon that he held up in the frame exactly like in the game. The audience howled with laughter on account of it looked goofy, but that dumb scene in that dumb movie got at why the gap between the two mediums can feel unbridgeable, because the core experiential aspect of one gameplay isn't something that can readily be replicated in the other. It's tough to adapt something while leaving its essence behind. Well, the problem here, Allison, is that the box office doesn't agree with you. And so you can think this, and that's fine. It's fine to have a differing opinion, but the market has spoken, and audiences love this movie. Kids love this movie, and this movie is no Doom. It is going to do exceedingly well. It could easily become Illumination's best ever movie in terms of financial success. So say what you will, Allison. You may not like this video game movie. Perhaps you don't like Sonic either. I don't know. But Mario is going to go on picking up those power-ups for a very long time. Let's do one more. This from the Mary Sue. The Super Mario Brothers movie had a low bar to clear, and it still can't make it. 2 out of 5 Fireflowers by Julia Glassman. Oh, Julia. Luckily for Mario, by the way, folks, clearing the financial bar is all that matters. The last time someone tried to make a Super Mario Brothers movie, they ended up with a mess so tortuous that the actors literally got drunk between takes. That's true. The first attempt was so bad that Nintendo refused to allow another for 30 years. When I saw it at age 12, I left the theater embarrassed that I'd made my parents sit through it. It goes on to, talk about all that. But here's the key point. Sadly, the Super Mario Brothers movie doesn't seem to understand any of that. All of the emotional beats are shoved to the margins in favor of video game references. Mario punches blocks, grabs power-ups, runs across falling platforms, and dodges piranha plants. In whatever spare time he has left, he breezily comes to terms with the fact that he's trapped in an alternate universe where his little brother may have already been murdered. The movie literally feels like the video game levels punctuated by cutscenes. And you know what? Those are some fair criticisms. I would have liked 10 more minutes in the movie. But they're attempting to make this very fast and very kid-friendly. And, once again, they've been extremely successful in doing so. Here's the kicker. This from CNBC by Sarah Whitten. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is set for a big opening weekend despite bad reviews. The Super Mario Bros. Movie has been poorly reviewed by critics, but box office analysts foresee a massive opening weekend for the Nintendo adaptation. The film currently holds a 54% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Forecasts call for the film to generate more than $100 million over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and more than $150 million for the full 5-day spread starting Wednesday. By the way, folks, this was at, 145 recently? It was at 143 before. It was at 138 before that. It was at 125 before that. Now, CNBC is saying that it's going to top 150. If it does so, it becomes Illumination's biggest movie ever in terms of the 5-day opening. Now, that's all important because what you need to understand is that the critics have absolutely no influence on the market whatsoever. Nobody cares anymore. They have destroyed their credibility. It is completely out the window and gone. What that means is that companies that listen to the critics, like Disney has, and produce content that critics love, like Disney has, this divisive content, this ideological content, well, it's not going to work. People want to go to the movies and they want to have fun. They want to be entertained. They want their kids to have a kids' movie, and that's what Mario is. It is not Shakespeare. It is not Saving Private Ryan. And it is not something that delves deeply into socio-political issues at all. Mario's just fun. And families love it. And Stargirls has decided to go in the opposite direction. Marvel may be trying to course correct now, but good luck with that. All of that said, this is a win for fans. This weekend is a win for fans. So if you're out there feeling beleaguered or negative about what you've seen at Star Wars Celebration, take heart. The market rules. The market is in control. And guess what? Mario and movies like it, they're winners. All this stuff that Disney is trying, that continues to double down on, it is not going to work. They can't force us to buy the tickets. And that is great news for all of us who just want to see, with these movies, what the high score could be. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and you can stick it to the algorithms. When you click it, we're talking about that notification bell. Also, don't forget that the Pro Show is 5 to 7 on Thursdays. If you want to join us live and see what we're saying with our panel of great guests, consider becoming a member. We covet your comments. Drop one down below. And finally, folks, make sure that you have an excellent weekend. We're so happy to be here and have all of you watching these videos, but I hope that you're having a good time. So be with friends and family and take care. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Make sure to catch the Pro Show Thursdays 5 to 7 Eastern Time. Entertainment Explained, The Culture Curve Conquered, live with Pro and all his friends.